Hi friends and neighbors. In this episode, we travel to a ghost town near Yosemite called Chinese Camp. Will we find the ghost of Samuel Clemens? Or an old miner that has one last story to tell? Find out in this gripping episode of Ghost Town PI.
There are places that were once full of life, but now only intense energy remains. We are on the way. Ghost Town PI. Chinese Camp was first known as Camp Washington or Washingtonville until the 1850s, when thousands of Chinese immigrants were driven from the neighboring Camp Salvado and Sonora. The area started to be known as Chinese Camp or Chinese Diggings. At one point, the town was home to an estimated 5,000 Chinese miners, in addition to many Americans and Europeans. Many of the Chinese immigrants were servants to Englishmen and helped build the railroads, worked the mining camps, and later labored on farms and ranches. The first post office and store opened in 1854, making Chinese Camp a transportation hub for stagecoach lines and express offices. The town grew quickly, filling its streets with several hotels, 2 Chinese temples, a blacksmith shop, a school, a bank, the Wells Fargo Express office, the Masonic Lodge, the oldest church in the county, and a cemetery. On September 26, 1856, the First Tong War broke out between the Sam Yap and the Yan Wu Tongs. Instead of using guns, they fought with pitchforks, rakes, and mining tools. Lawmen stepped in to stop the battle shortly after it began. However, 4 Chinese men had already been killed, and many others were wounded. The gold was easy to get to. However, the work was hard because the water was not close, and the gold had to be hauled to a creek to be washed. An 1899 mining bulletin listed the total gold production in the area to be $2.5 million. In 1970, a new elementary school, designed by Dolores Nicolini, was built in the style of a Chinese pagoda. Currently, none of the descendants of the original Chinese miners live in this rural town, but the remaining buildings still whisper their stories. Here we are in Chinese Camp. Coming up on, what is this? To honor Eddie Webb. It's a building. It looks like it was a store at some point. There's an open door here. Let's go take a look. Is there anybody in this store? No EMF. Well, this is Main Street. And that was a peacock. Main Street and Chinese Camp. A house, some shops, a windmill. Let's see if there's any ghosts. Let's get this EVP recorder out. Whose house was this? Is there anybody still home? You see anybody in that window? Starting EVP session. If there's anyone in this house still or around, talk into this device here and let me know that you're here. Is there anybody in this building? Somebody alive put that sign up, I'm sure. But are there anybody dead here? If so, speak into this device. Alright, EVP session number 2. Whoa, checking up on this storage shack. Are there any ghosts in here? How many? How long have you been dead? Who killed you? Was it murder? The tin is making noise up there. You can see it moving. See it moving? Bizarre, because as you can tell, nothing else is moving. Except for the tin on that roof. And this car driving by. Let's have a closer look. Besides the peacock, does anyone have anything to say? Who is moving the tin on this roof? Do it again. One more time for me, please. One more time. Show me how far back you can push that tin. Oh, man. Oh! Very nice, thank you. I'm not sure what this building is. I don't know if it was a house or a restaurant. But the address is 10006 Main Street. Let's find out. Are there any ghosts here? There's a lot of cars, it sounds like, but are there any ghosts? How about in there? Do you see anybody in there? Up in the top floor? How about in here? It's coming up on the rebuilt school. I believe this school was built in 1970. Definitely not one of the deserted places, but I'll take a vote. Here we are at the St. Francis Church. Built in 1849, it's claimed to be the oldest church in the country. I would do an EVP session, but I think the only thing I'm going to pick up is a whiny dog, because I left her in the Ghostmobile. Is there anyone here besides a whiny dog? I see there's a graveyard with some really old headstones. It says no trespassing after hours. And the hour is not after the hours, so we're going in. Well, we're not going inside the building, apparently, because that also says no trespassing. But we are visiting some graves. Particularly these over here. Is there anybody that has a message for the living? Maria? Albert? Frank? Are you here with us? Let's go see what's inside. Big ditch, I don't know. I can't see what's inside. Maybe you can. It looks really deserted. Now I can see in. Can you see that? Let's try another window. The pews are piled up. The floorboards are ripped up. Ah, here we go. Is there anybody in or near this church that wants to send a message to the living? Oh, hey, that's it for this episode of Ghost Town PI. Join us again next time when we go to another ghost town to look for more ghosts. Till then, have a great night and happy ghost hunting. Is there anybody inside this building? I'm gonna crawl through this keyhole and find out. It looks pretty dark in there.